Hello, guys. So, before I even start saying anything, I really want to apologize for taking too long to upload a new tutorial. The reason is because I'm planning my wedding, and so here in this part of the world, it's very, very, very time consuming to plan a wedding. So that's why I've not been online and all that. But then there is this project that I was doing before this whole time or issue came up. So I just quickly want to show you how I did some things here. The project is not done. I'm still in the process, but I quickly did a hardware render of it so you can see. So let me quickly play that and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing here in this tutorial. So I have this. So I'm trying to create a seamless movement of a camera movement from one scene to another. This is a personal project. I was just thinking, okay, would there be a way for me to like seamlessly do a loop where I can put on my social media handle? And two things I'm going to talk about in this tutorial about this animation set here is that I'm going to show you how to create the scene and also quickly the technique I use in creating this animation walkthrough, moving from one scene to the other. And so I think I'm just going to stop talking and let's get into the tutorial. So before we get into the tutorial, I would like to say that if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe because I do tutorials like this every time, and also hit the notification bell because every time I make new tutorials so you can get notified. So without further ado, all right guys, so this is where we are. So you can see the scene here. So this is more like the scene that I just played for you. So I'm actually working on this. So I'm going to pause this and create a new project, but I'm going to copy the setup, what I use in creating this. I don't really want to take time. So I'm going to copy this, create a new project, Command or Control N and Command or Control V to paste. So if you're using Mac, you use Command. If you're using a PC, you use Control. So this is more like the setup. So I started with using Cloner, but later I realized that the Cloner didn't really give me the effect I was looking for. So I'm just going to show you the technique where I used for this. So let me just quickly create some things in the scene and just place them so you understand how to do this whole thing. So I'm just going to create something very simple here. So when you want to do your own project, you could just really work with whatever scene you have. So you notice in my own scene I have beds and bedspread and chairs and all that so far. So I'm going to have character here and possibly have a floating object somewhere here. So let me just scale this down and create a depth with this and just bring this in. Maybe somewhere here. Okay, so we have that. Then for this, I'm going to bring this in here. So now so I'm just stop with this. This technique, the killer to this technique is just parenting these guys to the main object, which is this cube here. So I'm going to just bring them there, and then we have this. So I already have my controller, camera controller. I'm going to show you how to create this. So once you are done creating this, the next thing you want to do is I want to now create like 4 scenes. So I want to do a transition between 4 different scenes. So that's just the catch. So I'm going to have 4 scenes. So I had 3 additional scenes to this, and that will go around. So what I'm going to do is what I did was to create a different so let me, for instance, do this and scale this down even much more and bring this somewhere here. Okay, so we have this guy there. So I'm just going to use this to illustrate. So I'll bring this guy here. So this one, I'm going to make this scene 2. So I'm going to make this one scene 1. So what that means is that whatever I want to be in my scene 1, I'm just going to add 1 1 to them. Whatever I want to have in scene 2, I add 2 2 to them. So if I select this, so this figure will be in scene 2, but not at that location, maybe somewhere here. All right, so then we have all these guys set up, so you already get the idea now. So we're just going to use visibility to toggle them off, so we know what will be in scene 1 and what will be in scene 2 and so on and so forth. So we're going to now copy this guy, but before we start copying this guy, I need to move the anchor point here. So the axis, we need to move it. So I want to move it to this place here. So I'm going to hit my axis mode or L on my keyboard. Then I'll just click this corner. Then L again goes out. So once I'm done with this setup, then I can now duplicate this. So if I hit Command and Control and drag this, we have this. Then I'm going to rotate and hold down Shift to go at an increment. So we're going to have increment of 9. So once we have that, so we have this. You notice what happens, that all the object also rotates with it. So that is the technique with that. So once you're done with that, if you notice, if you come through here, I also notice a problem because I already I extruded some things, and we have this. If I hit NB, you see the wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to line and make sure I bring this to this edge. So if I move and hold down Shift, it's going to move at an increment of 10 centimeter. So that means it should be at this place, so which is half of 10, which is meant to be 5. So if you notice this now, the initial position is 105. So if I drag and hold down Shift, it jumps to 95. So that means if I add 5 to this, that makes it 100. So that places this here. So I'll do the same thing with this. Hold down Control or Command, drag this, and R for rotate. Hold down Shift and rotate this guy here. And I'll do the same thing here. Move it up. So I'll use my move tool. Look at the values here. Hold down Shift. So I have between 105 to 95. So that means I'm going to change this to minus 100. So we'll do that here also, minus 100. That solves that. So we'll do the last one. So rotate. So that's just pretty much how I created the scene. Hold down Shift and to constrain the rotation at incremental rate of 10. So move, and if I'm moving this, I see the movement. So between 100 and 110. So I'm going to just change this to 105. So that sets the scene. That's how the scene goes. All right. So I know that this is scene 1. For my scene 1, so let's just say this is 1. So I'm going to be alternating between 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we have 2. So if you have many scenes, you can just label them 1, 2, 3. So I know for my scene 1, I don't need to have anything to here. So I'm going to disable them here. And for my scene 2, I don't want to have anything 1. I'm going to disable them here. So the same way, just continue like that. So by the time you're doing the rotation, everything changes. It seems more like, okay, you're moving from one scene to another. When in the real sense of it, you have everything in the same object, you just disable some. So that is the creation of the scene. So the other thing you want to do is to do the animation of the scene. So what I'm going to do here is to create what will animate about the scene. So I'm going to use a rectangular tool and change the direction of this rectangle tool. So if I come here, I have this. So what I'm going to do now is to bring this guy to this edge here, somewhere here. Then that's going to be a guide for the center. So I'm going to bring up my what's it called, snap tool. So I want to snap to axis and also vertex. Then I'll make sure I have it selected. Use move tool and move it to this place. So I might need to. So we have this. Okay, so I think I have to still put on my edge. and also midpoint for edge. So if I do this, I get this midpoint, so that solves that. So sorry about that. And then, so once you have that set, so the next thing you want to do is to move it in place. So I'm just bringing this here such that, oh sorry, right now I need to turn off. So I'll just bring this somewhere here where I want the camera to be. Once I have that set, the next thing is to scale this down. So once I scale this down, I have this. So that's going to be more like the position of my camera. Okay, so I'm just scaling this. Let's scale it a little bit up. And the other thing is to move it backwards. So let's just move it forward here. Then once I have that set, the next thing now the good thing with this rectangle is you have this rounding, so I can turn this to more like a circle, and that is what I'm heading for, circle. So I have the seamless transition moving. So now the other thing I also did was to convert this. That will help me to know where the position of the object will start from, because I want to start from here moving up. So if I click on convert to editable format and I go to close spline, I notice something here, that the spline, two things. The first thing is that the spline, you should know where the spline cuts from. Or so another way you can troubleshoot this is by going to, once you have this converted, just go to point mode. That will help you to know where the spline. So you can notice the spline is here, and the way Cinema 4D reads spline is the start point is the whitish part and the end point is the bluish part. So how do I know? If I select this point here and I go to my structure, you can see point O, that is point O. So that's the first point. If I select this one here, this becomes the point 1. Sorry, so there should be point 1 somewhere here. So this is point 1. You have your point 4 and so on and so forth. So it goes all the way like that. So I know that this is how it goes. So but then I want to start from this end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle and just rotate. So I'll just rotate this 180 degrees so that it starts from here. So that is the first thing. So the other thing I'm going to do is to now create a null object that I'm going to parent on this guy here. So I already have a null object, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to create my own here. So if I create a null object, so the null object is going to be somewhere here. So I want to move this null object over to this place. But before I do that, I have to create my camera. So I'll select here, just move my mouse a little bit this way and create a camera. Once we have this camera created, go into the camera, go to the coordinates and zero out the rotation. So make this 90. Just look at it. Make this 0 because that's the closest. It's closest to 0 than 90. Then for this, I'm going to zero out this and also zero out this. Zero out this. So we have that. So if I move along this axis, see, so this is more like what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, so I want my camera to be exactly at this point here. So if I go to this and go to point mode, if I double click on this point here, I'm going to get coordinates of this. All right, so the coordinate is 009 this thing. So I'm going to copy this coordinate here, and that is for the movement. All right, so once you have that, close and select this and move this guy. I think so. Select this, Control V. And let's see what we have. So we have this 0. Okay, so I think it should be here. All right, so it should be there for this guy. So that's the first thing. The other thing is you could always just manually make sure you move this up. So if I use my move tool, I could just move this guy here to that point where I want this to start from. So I could just do this and that and just put this in place. Okay, so it should be somewhere here. Okay, so we have that. So we still need to move it in place, so we just do this until it's roughly there. So once we have that, so the next thing we're going to do is just move this put it as a child of it and zero out the coordinates. So just right click here, right click, and right click. That zeroes out that. So but what we actually need is want to make this a controller. So we are going to put this as a child of this and right click on this. And so I'm going to do something here. Sorry, I'm going to create another null object to show what this guy is going to be looking at. Okay, so the setup is quite complicated and all that, so I'm going to create another null object. So we have this null object here, so this is going to be the target, and then we are also going to move the target in place. So let the target should be somewhere here inside. So I'm trying to be fast with this. Okay, so we have that, and for this we are also going to duplicate this and just drag this. So this is for the camera part, and this is for the target part. So I hope you are getting what is happening here now. We have the target part, we have the camera part. So the camera is looking at this, so we can just select this camera, change this to maybe 25 to squash this. So let's try 20. I think this is fine. But in my setting I change this value. So once I have that, so let's quickly start doing this animation. So we'll bring this over here, right click on this, go to semaphore tags and go to target. We want to always doing that. Okay, let's do this first, then I will always. So on the null here, camera control, on the camera control I'm going to create a null and attach to spline. So I'm going to put the camera part here. As soon as I do that, the camera will jump in position. And now if you put on this tangential, it's going to break the whole thing. But notice what is happening, so we don't want that. So I'm going to undo and redo that. No, not that. So we right click on this again, go back and align to spline. I think we have. Okay, why did I do that? Okay, so we're back. So we select this, right click on this, go to align to spline, and just move this camera part here. That is the only thing we need. So this is what we are rotating. So this is what we are animating. All right, so I think I didn't even eventually use this target. I didn't eventually use it. That's true. I didn't use this. So get rid of this. We didn't use that. So once you have that set up, so we're just going to start from here, go to this and keyframe at that point, go to the end point, and from here we'll make it 0 keyframe, and what am I doing? Delete here. At this point we're going to make this 0. Yes, 0, and at the end keyframe we're going to make this 100 and keyframe. So if you have to play this, you have that. And now the problem with this is that you're having this easy ease, and that easy ease is affecting this whole thing. So I don't really want the easy ease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of this camera for a moment, right click, select the null object and also the tag, right click. Let's just select this guy and then tag that you have this on, right click, or you could just select this here and select this keyframe, change it from spline to linear, do the same thing here, change it from spline to linear. So if you check the animation now, it should go smoothly, and no easy and easy. Okay, so we have this issue now. So the reason why we have this issue waiting is because the guy is trying to move on those points. So if we go to this camera part, we want to change this to uniform and increase this bonds only 100, so we have a smooth transition. So if you play this now, it should go smoothly. So you didn't see the waiting anymore. So you have enough points to move around. But then if you look at this, the camera is not rotating with the scene. So that is where the last part comes. So if you come to the camera, we can now add a separate rotation to it. So if you go to the camera, you go to the coordinates. So we want to rotate, I think the heading, no, banking. All right, so we want to rotate the banking here. So at this point 0, we're going to make it 0 and go to the last and make this 360, because from here to here we have 90. Sorry, we have 90 gives us this, 180 gives us this, 270 gives us this, and back to 360. So we have 360 and keyframe. And we'll do the same thing for this camera. We'll select this, make sure the tag is not selected. So we have that selected, this keyframe. You select this keyframe here, change it to linear, do the same thing for this, change it to linear. So if we go back and check this now, you should have a seamless transition going, and you have that. So that's how I did that. So continue still forever, and still going and going, and you can notice the change in the object. So that's how I did that. So another thing I did was to alter the, if I go back to the, if you check, you see the camera moving back, such like it moves back. I wasn't animating the movement actually. What I animated was the what I animated here was the focal length. So we have this. So at this point, you notice at this point, I want to be very close to this. I'll just increase this focal length such that it covers this geometry. So I'll keyframe. So let's just work with 78. Keyframe that. And as it goes up at this point here, as it goes up, I want to bring this back to 20. So if you look at it, it just, can you see that? Jumps. And from here, at this point, I'm going to keyframe this and move up one keyframe, take it 78 again. And as we come back to this place here, I'll make this 20 keyframe. So maybe we should have a little bit of dynamic to this. So if you look at this now, you should have moving back. So you understand. So the reason why this is fast is because I'm not tweaking this well. So, but you already get the idea. So you have that seamless transition. So that is just pretty much what I want to show in this animation, how to do that seamless transition. So if you feel this was helpful, please do give me a like and a thumbs up, because I do tutorial. Please make a comment and tell me what you feel about this and what you think that can be added to this to better it. And if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel, because I do tutorials like this every time. And mind you, notice the time for this. You have 270 frames, 260 frames. That's why you have this smooth movement. It's not too fast. But for the one I use in illustration, we just work with 90 frames, so it's going to be a lot faster to do it. So once again, do have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Bye.